everybody, welcome to Simple Art at Home with me, Laura Houston. Today we have a fun drawing activity. We're going to be creating animal faces out of simple geometric shapes and line. But before we get started on our drawing lesson, let's go ahead and take a look at the fabulous student art that you've been sending in to me. Let's take a look. Kids art. Thank you so much for sending in your art. I just love seeing what you do. I keep my email right there on the bottom corner of the screen so you always know how to reach me. For today's art lesson, you're going to need some paper, a pencil, let's see, something to color with, and a straight edge is optional. I'm probably not going to use one today, but why don't we go ahead and move over to the art table. I'll see you in a second. Okay, so as I said before, we're going to be using geometric shapes to create animal faces. And just to review with you, let's take a look at these. As a quick review, we're going to be drawing squares and triangles and rectangles. This is a trapezoid, and it has 2 parallel sides. And this is a hexagon. It has 6 sides. So we'll be working with these different shapes today. And you'll need just a few different pieces of paper. I'm actually going to use 3 different pieces of paper because I'm going to show you 3 different animals. And again, eraser and crayons. If you need to pause this video at any time to go and get some supplies, feel free to do so, and I will be right here when you get back. Just hit the space bar on your Chromebook. I'm using a half sheet of paper to start with, just to give you an idea of size. This is a full sheet right here, and I just cut one in half because we're gonna just do a few sketches to start, okay? So I'm going to draw a line with my yellow crayon down the center of my paper. And this line is just going to be a guideline because I want my drawing to be symmetrical. And remember, if something is symmetrical, it's balanced on both sides. And I'll just hold this up so you can see this. It's just a yellow line because I really don't want it to show up. If you have pencil, just draw it very lightly. We're going to start off with a bear, okay? And in order to draw the bear, we're just going to start with a square. And I'm just sketching. Sketching is where you just, I don't know, just move the pencil very lightly over the paper, because later I'll go over this with a black Sharpie so that you can see it better. Because I know I'm doing this very lightly right now. This is called sketching. Just do quick lines because we might change our mind and move some of these lines. So we just start with a square. Now this one's practice, but also if you are a beginner, an early beginner, if you are in maybe some of the primary grades like TK or kindergarten, or somebody who just wants to do beginner art, the bear is one of the easier ones that we will do today. So we start with a square, and then in the middle, we will draw 2 square eyes. So we'll have one over here, like maybe one about right here, an eye. And if you can't see it, I will go back over it later. And another one over here. Okay, those are kind of just some sketches, some squares. And then here, I am going to draw the hexagon for like the muzzle or the nose. It's going to start from this area right about here, below the eyes, and it's going to go out, and it's actually going to go below this bottom part of the square. I want to take it a little bit lower, somewhere about right here, something like that. And so we have the two square eyes. This will be like the muzzle part. Let's make a trapezoid nose. So that'll be right about equal with these angles right here. I'll just kind of do a line like that, a horizontal line, and then two lines going inward and another parallel horizontal line. Okay, and then we can draw, how about some ears on this guy? So for the ears, we'll also do the hexagon shape. And the hexagon, let's see, before we do the ears, let's cut these corners a bit here because we're going to change the shape of his face. So I'm going to do this on all corners. Okay, something about like that. And now we can draw the hexagon ears. So it'll start here. And we're just sketching. And you can practice with this a bit. Like one here. Remember, a hexagon has 6 sides, something like that. And then I'll do another one, and I want to kind of eyeball it to make sure it's the same height over here. So maybe like something about right there. And let's see, we'll start here. Okay, so let's see what this looks like with the outline with the black pen. I think I will start with the shape. And remember, we're cutting the corners of this original square. Go down about right here. We'll take this down to about here. So now we're just kind of fixing our original sketch. I'll just be a little more careful with my lines. And if you want to color this one, you can. I'm just showing this as an example. And as I said, we'll draw 3 different geometric animal faces today. Starting easier and then going more difficult. But you can be any age to draw any of these. Okay, and we have his eyes, which are squares. And I'm not using a ruler, if you notice. You can, but I'm just kind of just doing this for fun right now. Okay. He's looking more like a bear now, isn't he? Let's see, I think. There we go. Okay, now, if you want to, so we've used geometric shapes here and line. If you want to, we can add a little smile. You could just do a little smile right here. There you go. And we can also add some eyes if we wanted to right here. And I know if you want to add, some little marks inside the ears, you could do that too. Maybe let me try it with pencil first and see how it looks. You could kind of do something like that. I think I'll leave his ears just open for now. So what we've done is we've used some geometric shapes to create a bear. So I will write the word bear right here. It's B-E-A-R, bear. So why don't we move him aside? And I thought it would be fun to try drawing a bunny using the same method, okay? So again, I'm going to start with drawing a center line. This time I'm going to turn my paper a little bit to get this center line. Okay, so we have center line about like this. And that's just to help me make this bunny a little more symmetrical. And why don't we start? Let's see, we want to leave space for his ears. He's going to have long ears up here. So probably about, halfway down, or a little more than halfway, I'm going to draw a line like this. This will be the top of his head, like his forehead area. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw, let's see, I'm gonna bring this down to about right here. Let's see, maybe about right here. I'm gonna put a point and I'm going to connect this line here. And I'm actually gonna take this line all the way up. If you wanna use a ruler, you can at this point, it might be helpful. But this line goes from his face, like his nose, up to the top of his ears. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Just kind of sketching. Okay. And again, you can always erase if you feel like it's not looking the way that you want it to. And then under here, I will draw a nose. And the nose will be another upside down triangle from what we are used to. Something like this, going back to that center line. And then I'm going to draw the outline of his face. And his face will be this hexagon shape. So I'm just going to take it down to the side. I'm going to match this line to this nose right here. See if I can make that fit or somewhat close to it. And again, even if yours is a little bit different, that's completely fine. I'm gonna bring this line down. There's his little bunny cheeks. And then we'll make a chin right here. Okay, now let's connect this corner to this corner. Like that. We'll do the same thing here. And let's give him some teeth that stick out. And the teeth will be, you know, a rectangle. So we'll have the teeth come down like this. And like this. And then we can draw a line right from the center there. I'm going to hold this up so you can see what I've done so far. Looks like this. Okay. And then let's finish the eyes and the ears. So for his eyes, we're just going to keep them very simple. We're going to make like a V right here. So we're just going to stay in the geometric pattern. Like maybe his eyes are closed. If you want to do open eyes, I know you all are really good with doing cute animal eyes. I've seen your work. You can get creative. I'm just going to do little eyes that are closed. Now for the ears, we're going to make sure the points are about the same up here, the same height. That's why we have this center line. You can kind of look across. Oops, that was, you know that I record at my house. So that was one of our cats. His name was that G? Yeah. That was G, and he just knocked a lamp over. But what can you do? We're going to keep going here. So I'm going to bring this down right here. See that? So this will be part of the ear, and it comes before the cheek. The show must go on, right? Okay, and we'll do the same thing on this side. So far, this is all symmetrical. If we were to fold this bunny in half, it would be, the line of symmetry goes vertically right down the center. And then again, I'm going to take a little line here, and it's going to angle over here for the other part of the ear. We're going to do the same thing here. Okay. Now, we also need to add some little bunny whiskers. So if you just keep on the same line here, just go straight out. This is horizontal, right? So we'll have a line here, straight across. And now we'll have a shorter line go up and a shorter line go down. Shorter line go up and down. Don't have the whisker go in front of his eye. You might have to move his eye or move the whiskers lower. Let's see what this looks like darkened with a pen. Okay, so I started here with this horizontal line, and I went down in a triangle, and then I drew his triangle bunny nose, and then I think I drew the rest of the face, trying to stick to the same order. And then the chin. Okay, and that shape was the hexagon. You can see it there. And then we have a line going from here. This kind of shows the front of his face and his teeth. Kind of come out here like a rectangle. And his eyes are closed. Again, you can change the eyes however you want to. And then we have this line continuing out to make a whisker, and another whisker here, another whisker there, some shorter ones. I don't want to cross over his eye, so I'm just going to put the whisker like that. And let's draw his ears. So the ears are going to go up here. And then this line goes straight down. And we had this one come up and angle over to the top of the ear, like that. And then we'll do the same thing here. This line comes up from this V. Same line goes straight up and then down. And this line comes up and over. Okay, so I think I have all the parts of the bunny. So we had a bear and a bunny. I'll write the word bunny here. If you want me to write the word rabbit, this is how you write rabbit. And his face was a hexagon, or is a hexagon. His nose is the triangle. And we have and his teeth are rectangles. We have all kinds of shapes in there. So here's an example of a bear and a bunny. So if you need to take a screenshot at this time, you can, but I'm going to move these off the table because I'm going to show you a more, like a little more difficult or advanced drawing of a wildcat. So there are those two. Okay, I'm going to move them off over here, and I'm also going to move this over. Okay, so next I'm going to use a full sheet of paper, and we're going to draw this wildcat, and the frame is a little bit different. So this, I'm going to show you these. This is what I'm going to do in yellow. This line here, and then this line, and this line. So this line is vertical, and then we have a horizontal line and another horizontal line. Okay, you ready to try the wildcat? And then I'm going to color in the wildcat as well. So first I'm going to just try to eyeball the center where this would be to help me make the wildcat symmetrical. And then let's let's see, about here. Right about here is where I'll make the top of his head. And then we'll have his forehead section here. And his chin over here. Something. You don't have to do these guidelines, but it is a good technique to practice. Okay, so let's start with this horizontal line. So it's about right here. And we will go from here. I'm going to draw the front of his nose area and this muzzle area here. Okay, so it looks like I want to go down to about here is where the top of his nose is, somewhere around here. So I'm going to draw. I'm just sketching. Remember, we're just practicing sketching. And the nose kind of is like this. It goes like this, goes over and over here. It curves like that. And then I'm going to bring kind of like this. It comes down. It's like a cat nose. Something like this from here. I'm going to use my eraser. There. Okay. And then on down, so here's this bottom line. I want to make the chin hit this bottom line down here. So I'm going to continue, have the nose, there's a line here. And then the top of his mouth is about right here. So we're just using geometric shapes. And then it comes down like this. That's his little wildcat chin. And this. I might have made it looks like I made it this is a trapezoid. I want to widen that. That's why I'm sketching with pencil. I can just widen it like this and use my eraser. And I'm going to erase those other lines so I don't confuse myself. But we're just, as I said, this is called sketching. We just practice drawing some lines. Okay, so we have this nose. And why don't we go ahead and work on the shape of his face from here. So there's this line that comes down at a diagonal, but it doesn't go all the way to this yellow line. So it looks like kind of goes like this here. And there's another line that kind of goes out down to here. And then we have this that comes over here. And then this line looks like comes to about here, something like that. And we're going to fill in the other lines as well. And we're going to match this. We're going to make it symmetrical. Remember, the line of symmetry is this vertical line down the middle. So we're going to do the same thing here. And we're going to bring this line goes out towards the edge of the paper out here. I'm trying my best to make it symmetrical, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just practicing. Okay, and this comes down here and then something like this. Okay. And let's put some ears on him before we fill in his face. So it looks like we have an ear that comes from this, let's see. Well, let me start over here. Looks like it goes over here and then over and then down, something like that. So it looks like I could have brought this lower, a little bit lower down, but I think I'm okay with how it is like this. It's not exactly the same as the picture, but this should be more of a angle like that. There. And then we'll do the same thing here. So this is straight right there, but this has an angle to it. And we'll do the same thing here. I'm going to try to get them the same height. So this comes up like this, and then over, and then is that a little too high? Like I can see that I did that a little too high, so I want to bring it to about here, and then straight down here. Yeah, just have your eraser handy. Don't get frustrated. That's why we're just sketching. Okay. And here I can see I can bring this a little wider if I want. Okay. And then there's another line in here that kind of comes up and over. And we'll do the same thing here, up and over. And I will color in this cat. Okay, so let's put eyes on our cat. So it looks like the eyes are on this line here. So there's a diagonal line here, and then this line goes out like this, about right here. And then there's a space. I go down here, and another horizontal line, and then a line that goes up and over like this. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll start with this diagonal line here and over. And then there's a space, so I'll do a line right there and a horizontal line and up and up here. Okay, so we have our two eyes, and why don't we go ahead and fill them in. There's something that looks, cats have those eyes that are more like diamonds, kind of. We'll connect it. Why don't we do this? Something like that. Yeah, and then I'll do the same thing here. And I'm gonna put a circle in here that kind of shows, we'll leave that part white, to leave the white part of the eye. And then from this section here, it looks like, well, so technically this line is supposed to connect to the eye line. So I could have brought this down a little bit more. And then if I bring this out, I can fix it that way. See? There, that's better. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. But again, you don't have to. So that way this line matches this angle here. So let's see if we can make that work on this side as well. So if we bring this line down a little bit, this line can go here, and this one here, something like that. So we're making his face a little wider. Okay. And then he has lines coming from this line here. I'm looking right here down to more of like the center of his cheek. I'll do that on both sides. And it will go out to this corner. You see how you could use a ruler if you want that look? I'm going to add whiskers to him. Like right now, he almost looks like a raccoon. And then we can add this little shape that comes here and here. And again, we'll do this and this. Okay. And remember, it's okay if yours is not completely the same as mine. Every time I do this is my second one, and it already looks different from the first one that I did. Okay, so we need to put whiskers on here. So I'm gonna do my whiskers with crayon, I think, because I am going to color this one with crayon, but maybe I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to have one whisker that kind of goes, a long one that kind of goes out here. We'll match that one. And then a small one that goes up and another small one here. And we'll do the same thing, one that goes up and another small one. And then we can even do like little some little dots here. Okay. Now I think when I make this one, I am going to outline it with the black pen. So let's try this. Okay, so I'm going to start with the nose. And I think it's good for you because I think you can see my black pen a little bit better on your computer screen. There. And I'm just going to, I'll color this in with the crayon. And then I'll just move on to his chin. Here we have that trapezoid again. I'll go up here. I'll do the outline of his face. Remember, it's okay if yours looks different. We're just trying our best. We're experimenting with something new today. We're making animal faces out of geometric shapes. This corner will attach to this edge of the nose. We'll do the same thing here. Okay, I'm going to make the eyes. We're just using straight lines. Isn't that, except for the eye part right here, I am doing a little bit of a curve. But it's interesting what you can create with straight lines. Okay. Just more straight lines. I'm just following what I sketched. I'm trying to be aware of where these angles are because I'm connecting the straight lines to these angles. Okay, and let's see, look at his little face. I can see it coming through now. What about his ears? Okay, so the ear has a straight line here from here to here. Now this was the one I had a little trouble with. So this goes up and now here it bends, the line bends over. And this line sort of mimics that same curve there. And then we'll do the same thing here. This one will be straight down, straight line. This one will go up and then over. You see how sketching first can help? This one I'll take a little bit higher to match. Okay. Why don't I will, you know what, I will fill in the eyes. There, so you can see the part that I'm leaving white, the little white circle there. And I think I will just go ahead and fill in the nose. We'll make a little black nose. Okay, there. And if you want to, if the pencil lines bother you, you can erase the pencil lines. But I knew that I was just sketching, so I'm not going to really bother to erase them. I want to show you, I practiced with this cat earlier today, and look how different they both came out. Like this was my first attempt. And this, look how wide I drew his face. And then here's my second try. I ended up doing it like very narrow. And that's fine. You know, every time you draw, you know, your drawings come out a little bit different and you get to decide which one that you like best. So I like this one better for now. I like his eyes and I like the shape of his face. Now for the color, let me get my Post-it note here. So I'm going to be using these crayons. I'm going to use some pink and some orange on this Wildcat and brown And I will use black and some light blue. Okay. So I'll just put that over there. Okay, so let's start with the pink. And again, you can color any color you want. This is just, I'm just showing you a suggestion. So I'm gonna do I kind of like that inside flap of his ears, his or her ears, pink. So there's one side pink. Color is really going to bring this wildcat to life. And I know, this is a, more difficult lesson. Why don't I put our bear up here in case those of you want to look at the bear, and I'll put the bunny rabbit over there. Okay. And watch closely. I'm also putting some pink right in the holes of his nostrils. And I'm going to put a line of pink right here on his chin. Okay, so I'll hold that up so that you can see. See that pink that I barely put on his nostrils and on his chin? Okay. And that is all of the pink. I think I will erase some of the pencil in his eyes because I want that shiny part to come through. Okay. And then next we will use some orange. So I'm going to color this part orange up here. There we go. And then I'm going to color this part orange as well. Okay, and then let's color this nose area orange. And take this all the way down to his little black nose. Okay, we have that part orange, and let's also color this part orange as well, like over here. But we're going to mix in some black stripes because he is a wildcat. So I'm just kind of lightly coloring this part orange. And then let's do this part orange as well. Okay. And we're going to do something with the orange here. We're going to fade the orange. So we're going to go from orange to white. So as we get closer to his eyes, it'll be white. So just do like a side to side like this. And then we're going to fade it up. There, just like that. I'll do the same thing on this side. So I'm starting with orange. And I'm going to fade it up to white. And that'll look cool. Okay, there. Now let's add some brown. So we can add some brown in here on these triangles. And you can use anything that you want to color with. Some of you might want to use watercolors. Some of you might want to use colored pencils or oil pastels. I'm using crayons that we get from school. Okay. And then let's color this part brown as well. We're going to leave his little muzzle white. And that's this right here. But you can color it if you want to. If you already did, that's okay. Okay, here's some brown. There. Okay, look how good he looks. Okay, maybe I'll do a little darker brown here. All this from shapes, from geometric shapes and straight lines. Okay, now let's take our black crayon. Why don't we put some marks on his ears up here? I think kind of like does a bobcat have these? You'll have to let me know. Maybe it's a bobcat. Let's see, something like that. Why don't we can also do some a little bit lighter on the ridge of his nose here. And then let's do some more going down this way. And mix that in. And maybe over here as well. Okay. And if I want to, I could add a little darkness up here on that side just to make it look interesting. Maybe a little bit, just pressing very lightly. Maybe I'll make these a little darker. There, now he looks more like a wildcat. Okay. And then the light blue. You're probably wondering, where are we going to use light blue? Let's use light blue a little bit on each side of the eye. Wait till you see how I do this here. And it's just going to like make the whites of the eyes look more white. See that? Put a little bit of light blue around his eye there. There. Okay, so it looks like let me write the word wildcat. So this is a wild cat. Okay, and we used all kinds of shapes today. We used a square, triangles, all different kinds of triangles, rectangles, trapezoids, and hexagons. And we first started with the bear. The bear is more like a simplified, the easier version of what we're doing today. We did a cute little bunny rabbit with teeth sticking out. And then we did the wildcat. So I hope that you learned something new today on how to draw animal faces with geometric shapes. I will meet you back up at the easel. I'm going to bring our wildcat. Wow. Thank you everybody for joining me today. I had a lot of fun with this drawing project today. I hope you did too. Please send in pictures of your art. I love to see how you respond to my lessons and what kind of art that you enjoy doing. So before I leave, let's take one last look at the fabulous student art that was sent in this week, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Kids art. See you next time.